my name is Sylvia Ramos, and today I would like to talk to you about the Stand Your Ground laws. So, the Stand Your Ground laws are recently being reconsidered in states where they already exist. The George Zimmerman trial, I know that you guys have probably heard of it, it has brought a lot of attention to the matter of whether a person should have the right to use deadly force against another person when it comes to self-defense. So the purpose of this presentation is to answer the question, is there a Stand Your Ground law that is similar or exactly the same as the one in Florida, but in Texas? And I know that sounds kind of random, but I lived in Texas. I want to know what's going on there, and if any of this that's happening in Florida also applies to a place where I've lived before. So what is the Stand Your Ground law? Well, it is a law that affirms one's right to stand your ground when you're defending yourself in a serious, imminent threat, and you don't have to retreat from that threat as long as you're in a place where you have the right to be. And this law was created on March 7th, 2007. That's when it was signed by Governor Perry, and it came into action on September 1st, 2007. Now, why did Governor Perry create this? He stated that everyone should have the right to defend themselves in an imminent act of harm. And even though it had not been clearly defined in state law, it definitely should have been, and it is intuitive to human nature. Now, how has this law been used in Texas and in other states? Since 2005, over 20 states in the United States have passed laws extending the right to stand your ground. The Castle Doctrine, which is what they have in Texas, it states that a person is protected under the law to use deadly force in self-defense, but when they're in their own property or in the privacy of their own home. The Castle Doctrine it's kind of different from the Stand Your Ground law because the Castle Doctrine, it requires for you to be in your home or on your property, and you don't have to retreat. The Stand Your Ground law doesn't require for you to be in your own property. You can be in someone else's property and still defend yourself. So how does all this pertain to the George Zimmerman trial? Well, George Zimmerman was one of the people in a neighborhood watch in his neighborhood in Florida. And in his neighborhood, there have been several crimes going on in the area. And Zimmerman, he was approached by Trayvon Martin. And for some reason, he felt like he was being threatened and his life was in danger. So Zimmerman felt that he had enough reason to defend himself to the point where he could shoot Trayvon Martin. However, George Zimmerman, he was found not guilty when he went to trial of second-degree murder and manslaughter for killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin on the night of February 26, 2012. Zimmerman, he claims that he shot Trayvon Martin in self-defense. So that's one of the reasons why this law and this case in particular is so controversial. So in conclusion, there is a similar law in Texas to the Stand Your Ground law. However, it is known as the Castle Doctrine, and you have to be in your own home or on your property. Whereas the Stand Your Ground law, it only requires that you're in enough danger and you feel threatened enough to hurt someone or even kill them. So many Americans are now against this law. They believe that George Zimmerman was actually guilty, and they believe that this law should really be fixed to protect only potential victims of a heinous crime, not criminals. So that's all I have for you guys. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Why do people not believe that George Zimmerman had enough reason to shoot Trayvon Martin?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons. I didn't follow the whole trial, but I know that there was something said on HLN where George Zimmerman actually called 911 and he was talking to a 911 operator and they were telling him to stay away from Trayvon Martin. However, he chose to follow Trayvon Martin. So that, I mean, to me that sounds kind of guilty, but at the same time you have to understand that he was part of the Neighborhood Watch team and he was just trying to protect his neighborhood. So I don't really know the whole story. I can't really completely answer that question, but I know that there's certain facts that say that he is guilty, and other facts that say that he was just trying to protect his neighborhood. Yes.
Why are people questioning the constitutionality of the Stand Your Ground law?
Well, like I said before, the Stand Your Ground law, I feel like it was created with a good intent. It was meant to prevent potential victims of a crime from getting hurt. However, there's people who believe that it's probably protecting criminals more than it's protecting potential victims. Yeah.
Do you believe that race played a factor in the case?
To a certain extent, I feel like it did, but at the same time, I don't want to be biased. There's a lot of things that I don't know about the trial, so I can't answer that completely. However, there are a lot of reasons why I understand why people don't agree with the verdict of not guilty, and a lot of that has to do with race, and I totally understand where they're coming from. However, there's a lot of people who are also claiming that Zimmerman was white and it was a hate crime against a black person. However, he claims his mother is Hispanic, so he considers himself Hispanic as well. So I'm honestly not sure about what I feel if it had to do with race or not. I wasn't there, but there's a lot of things that show that yes, it could have been race, but at the same time, he was just trying to protect his home and neighborhood. All right, is that it? Thank you, everybody.